We are live. Welcome everyone watching or listening to the SEO news for week 16, which was last week. I've gathered the news and we're going to go through it today. This is AI and SEO news. We've got Linus, my trustworthy companion and co-host. My name is Frederik Drost and we work for Præcis Digital. Should be like a little logo down at the corner as well. Let's get into it. First one here is a small little analysis here that Google seems to have a 130-day rule. If a URL is not crawled after 130 days, it gets de-indexed. You can, yeah, exactly. All right, interesting stuff. I guess you can then take a look at why. The question is really, why is it not being crawled? But if you have bloat or anything like that, this is now a time frame where you can work with this kind of thing. So it's just an interesting fact to add to the database up here. Charles Floate, someone I'm started following on. I don't get much from him on Twitter, but he has a pretty interesting take here, which is most SEOs don't understand this. Google doesn't want the best content. It wants content from domains it trusts, pages that look clean to users but optimized for bots, brands that pay into ad ecosystem, and sites with EAT that it can verify externally. So what he's really saying is build the illusion of trust faster than your competition. I agree with it to the point where it's the illusion of trust when you can actually build the real trust. I think that's probably what we're trying to achieve, and what a white hat SEO should be is not the illusion. It's the actual, you can actually build trust. It's called holistic marketing, digital marketing and branding and such. So that's a lot of what I think we're aiming for here as well. It's just hard. So I kind of agree. Just an interesting take. Go follow him on Twitter. Big one here. Google found guilty of illegal ad tech monopoly. Finally.
Ooh,
That's actually...
who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have... What a surprise, right? It's just nice to actually get that as a ruling. Of course, Google will appeal. It doesn't... I mean, it will have some impact on us, but mostly ads will actually be able to maybe have a more open, free space ecosystem, ad ecosystem, and maybe better revenue. And the whole idea, what I like about Charles Floate idea and this moving into this one is he's saying Google will promote people who pay into their ecosystem, ad system. If Google get split up, they might not be able to actually figure that out. And so I think it's really good for SEO as well, this whole thing. I just split Google up, please. They're communicating too much with each other. It's creating a monopoly, basically. Google Ads should not be able to have any sort of data stream to Google search whatsoever. Like they should be separate entities, even though they work together in a sense, you know. This is an important must-read here. Ignore the hype around Google's ccTLDs. I don't know if you heard, but they're going away from the google.fr, google.uk, moving it into just .com. And I think some people have been freaking out because people on Twitter are saying, don't change your hreflang, don't do this, don't do that. It's just an interface change. So let's remind everyone it's just an interface change and don't change your geolocation strategy.
Yeah, no, I think that's. I think what they touch on in what John Mueller touches on, like it depends site to site, and that's what we've always said and what they've always said. Like, I don't think you should go to .com just because someone else does it. Like, you go to .com because it leads to other improvements besides your international SEO.
Google now knows where you live. Where you live sounds creepy. Google knows where you're accessing from. So the whole .fr thing doesn't really make sense, honestly. It can just do this dynamically anyway, so I'm fine with that. So DEJAN SEO is a good follow on Twitter or X. I still call it Twitter. I don't care. So he's talking. There's a really good article about detecting AI content, how it's getting harder and harder. And he developed a specific LLM that can do this. And again, why does it matter for us? Well, maybe we want to figure out if a client comes in and we want to pitch. If we can detect with 99% accuracy all their content is AI, that might be bad. I would say that's something we should be changing. And he did, so he has this LLM, and GPT-04 Mini is like the best in terms of getting undetected, right? But it's just going to be harder and harder. But I think a lot of people are thinking about this as well. I think we can monitor content authenticity, but also if we are working with content writers or anybody is, and you have AI content and you make it better, we can see how better it becomes. Like, is it less detectable now? And I think that's an important thing. So I'm gonna, maybe see if I can get to access to that LLM somehow. Actually, there's another one here talking about. Maybe I should move this one up to the next one here. So this is a good tie-in. There's a really good article from Kevin Indig from Search Engine Journal on the human-centric workflow for editing AI content. Basically, yes, we're making content with AI. It's good at many things, but we need to have a human input. I think this is just a really good guide. It goes through like, a bunch of things here, like fact checking. I like the natural tone, ditch utilize and just use used. Prune filler. It's important to note, like it's AIs keeps doing that. So a bunch of good, really good guide here, honestly, I would say. And I've shared it with the content writers I'm working with. So, oh yeah, SEO isn't dead, Linus.
Who would have thought?
Well, we're still getting paid. So until I am not getting paid, I'd say SEO is still alive because that's all I really do. But yeah, it's traffic is going up for Google now. ChatGPT is getting huge growth, etc. But Google's traffic is also going up, it seems, according to SEMrush. So, all right.
I do also. I wrote this as a co-host comment, but 1% for Google is, or 1.66% is still half almost of what ChatGPT has total.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, proportionally.
So I also think like not only is Google increasing in visits, but saying that ChatGPT is growing rapidly. I don't know if
proportionally it is growing rapidly as well, because if you can gain 1% of Google's total traffic in a month or 3 months, that's big too. Like if you had an app that did that, you wouldn't be working here. You'd be, on a yacht somewhere. So it's pretty insane, I would say. But it's just a good reminder. I think I'll do this every time. SEO isn't dead yet, until there'll be my final video when SEO is dead. Good point. Thank you. Another AI overviews analysis. This one focused on B2B click pattern analysis. So essentially it's saying that 90% of B2B buyers click on citations in Google AI overviews. So there's a really good, we still need to be present there, and how do we get present there, and how do we even track it? Those are all the questions we're trying to answer, but it seems like it's not in some cases, it's not the zero-click search pattern that we're afraid to see, right? And again, are they taking in account the fact that what was it before? Was it 100%? There's a bunch of things to consider here, but I think this is relatively positive. So if AI overviews keep actually putting in citations and showing them visibly, that would be great. A small little SERP feature update here. Google is displaying a new gray new label. So newly published or updated pages. It's supposed to be an 8-hour threshold for this. So I think mostly for news sites, this is interesting. Although you might have some, even non-news sites might be targeting, trending topics and such on their blog. But yeah, very interesting, very cool. And just shows that Google is looking at that when it's showing it in the SERP. So I feel like there's a connection there.
Yep.
And a funny little SERP inception here from, let's see here, that was Barry. But Glenn Gabe reposted it. Anyway, names and names. But yeah, he came across a snippet called People Also Consider, which is sponsored. So first who's sponsoring the links and why, but also it led to a fresh SERP with more ads and yet another People Also Consider block. I think to me, those are hidden ads, and I hate that when Google's like, will hide them and make them look like natural links. Yeah, another reason they need to be split up. I'm glad that they're finally doing something about this. This is also a pretty interesting take from Gianluca. Memory is the next keyword for SEO, and being memorable is the key strategy. Sounds a bit vague, but it's actually meaning it's hyper-personalization because of the improved memory functions they have. So again, the whole branding is then important, I suppose, right? All these holistic things that creates like a good online strategy, if I want to be really basic about it, matter for AI. And this is very focused on AI. But again, I think a few years ago, there was a hype topic about Google being, it'll remember what you searched for last and you'll have a hyper personalized. I notice when I search for a tool and I click, it's second. The next time I search for it, it's number one. And I even get the little badge, you've visited this page often. So Google is trying to do that, but at what scale, and how important is it, et cetera, et cetera. So very interesting stuff. I think he's right on the money there.
100%.
Of course, backlinks aren't dead either. So many fake funerals. But outdated strategies are, this is very marketing. But it's from Search Engine Journal, and they have a, what's it called? A seminar or some sort of, basically for free. So they're going through how link diversity helps boost traffic, running digital PR campaigns, pitch content, etc. I think it's just good to talk. I think this is great. So if you're into that, have a look, sign up, watch it. By the way, a little reminder. Let's see here. I think today we have split testing today. There's a split testing. I mentioned this last week, but a fresh reminder. SEO split testing in 2025. What works, what doesn't, what we've learned from Search Pilot, I think. It's today at what time is it? At 5:30 GMT +2. So in our time zone, Europe. So that would be early in the morning in the US. Just a reminder. Another analysis here from AI search citations. Product content dominates, apparently, it seems. So they did a 12-week analysis of a lot of citations, ChatGPT, Google AI Overviews, Perplexity. Product-related content accounts for 46 to 70% of all citations. So, I mean, Google has a really good interest in becoming kind of a shopping platform because it can make money, and it also is really good at that. And I feel like they might also be doing that, or maybe are people just looking for products at the end of the day? Like, is it just a buying phenomenon? Like, what do you think is going on here? Because is it targeted?
I think this is super, super interesting. And if you think about it, I really think, like, if I think about how I myself work and what to talk about in the funnel, like when you're top funnel, you want to know what products there are. And then in mid funnel, you want to know how good are these products that I found. And then finally, you want to buy the products that you think are good, that you found in the beginning.
It's all product, all the way through.
I think this like sounds super reasonable, and I think it's very insightful in that we probably created or historically created a lot of content that necessarily doesn't really drive anyone to buy, which of course is not a problem itself, but yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, I'm actually the few clients I'm working with. I'm actually kind of bringing up these what I call the honest strategy when it comes to informational content on the blog, where I'm actually saying, hey, why don't you just showcase your product versus your competitors, which is something a lot of people were like, why would we do that? And who would even trust us? But if you're actually honest, like, we know our competitor does this better than us, but we're really good at this. And if you can actually have that list and then just, like, hey, if you really just want this, try our competitor instead. And that's you're gaining access to a space that your competitor doesn't have. And people will see that brand anyway. They see you're on your blog. So I think that's a really cool strategy to do. I think that's a way to get into that kind of product space that usually is a higher funnel and reserved for affiliates, which Google apparently hates right now. So, yeah, great. Thank you. The Google Search Console API now provides up to 10 days of hourly performance data. So very granular. I'm on a lot of site migrations right now, so that's really what I'm going to try and use it for. You can really pinpoint when and where and issues and stuff like that. So I think that's cool. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this one is cool. Bloomberg talking about Google AI overviews and the delicate balance it disrupts. The balance between we have a website, we make great content, Google gives us the click because it's great. That is being disrupted. Why I share this is because when it's on Bloomberg, that's when the higher masses are becoming aware of this, and Google might need to take action or something. So I just like that. The more I see these kind of things we're talking about being shared on like regular news platforms, the better I feel. We're being heard. And last but not least here, AI overviews glitch may reveal Google's query interpretation logic. So people on Twitter have been having fun. I don't know why we didn't do this before, by the way, by just like Googling weird things that don't make sense. Like I like this one, parallel puppy fishing. And it'll confidently come back with something like, oh, this is what it's mean, or this is what it is. And I love that people are doing that. I don't know why I didn't have that idea. But it might reveal how it's actually working in the background a little bit. So it's a pretty interesting read. But again, just another reason why I think Google AI Overviews is really a dangerous path to go down. It has to be so good and still provide traffic. Like, give me an overview of the SERP. Give me a little extra info, but don't plagiarize my content and give me the answer right away, because I don't think that's good. And I also don't think people will ever really trust that. People do like to see, hey, Linus wrote this SEO article and he's a goddamn good specialist. Thank you. Instead of, hey, this AI took random people's shit and put it together. Pardon my French. I would never really trust that at the end of the day. So yeah, that was today's news. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being with me, Linus. If you have any questions or comments, drop them. Please like, please subscribe, and I will see you guys or girls next week.
Bye-bye.